Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I have the Undertaker, the Ultimate Edition Undertaker, classic version, retro version technically, the Phantom of the Opera Undertaker, an action figure that I am hopefully a fan of. I guess I haven't opened it yet. I'm a fan of the Undertaker despite him being a bit of a shit. He's not as big of a shit as most Legends era wrestlers are. I think despite him being a bit of a shit, he isn't as bad as he could be. So it's easier to enjoy his stuff. There's a lot of wrestlers who have completely just like, I don't know what they're thinking. They're just oh yeah, let me say I support segregation just out of nowhere, and it's like, fuck you, dude, because like you have these toys or collections of all these people, and it's just hard to like enjoy when they're like that. Undertaker hasn't gone all the way with that. He's been annoying, but he hasn't been that bad, so it's a little easier for me to enjoy his action figures. I don't need to say this stuff, because I know this is like, someone's gonna watch this and they're gonna be like, ew, gross, I'm not gonna watch this. But like, when I make these videos, I just start talking and I don't stop, and that's basically how my channel is. Anyways, I'm excited to open this figure up. I love this era of Undertaker. I think he looks great. It's not my favorite era of Undertaker, but it's a pretty good one, and to have it in Ultimate Edition form, it's pretty cool. This era of Undertaker specifically was, I believe, the second Elite I ever owned. The first one I owned was, okay, let me clarify. I had The Miz. That recently got re-released as part of the Ruthless Aggression wave. Fantastic figure. I didn't buy a whole lot of toys back when I was a kid, so I had that one for a while. And then I got the Triple H DX action figure and the Hornswoggle DX action figure. They were part of the same thing. I wanted the Shawn Michaels, and they had the Shawn Michaels, and I was going to buy the Shawn Michaels, but I could only get two, and I wanted Triple H more at the time because I was a fan of him, and my friend wanted Hornswoggle because we were buying them together. And he thought I was introducing him to wrestling as a concept. He thought Hornswoggle was hilarious. He's like, what? There's a little person wrestler, and he's a part of this group, and they made an action figure of him, and blah 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 blah. He loved that, so instead of him buying Shawn, he bought Hornswoggle. I ended up keeping both the toys just because he wasn't into toys. He wasn't into wrestling. It was the thing to buy at that very second. It was one of those impulse buys. Then, after I think another few years, I started looking at these stores and being like, what's going on over there with these WWE Elite action figures? And I eventually found and picked up this version of Undertaker. Not this specific version, to be clear. This era of Undertaker. And I bought it. And from then, I went on to buy John Cena's, Jack Swagger's, Cesaro, whole bunch of figures. Really, it was the reintroduction into wrestling for me. Back when I was a kid, you love wrestling as a kid, then you get out of it, then you get back into it, and that was my whole journey. And this era of Undertaker got me there, which I appreciate, because now wrestling's a very big part of my life, and I am a very big fan of it. Anyways, how long is this video gonna be? Fucking 80 minutes? Let's go ahead and talk about the figures. Starting with the front of the box, you have this nice Ultimate style packaging. Very cool stuff. You have the figure right here, everything he gets. Ultimate down here at the bottom. Ultimate articulation for authentic posability by Mattel. Undertaker up here at the top. On the side of the box, you have this nice Legends style artwork for the Undertaker in his purple gothic attire. Then you have Undertaker in real life and Undertaker in action figure form. A little bit of a bio if you wanted to read it. I'm not going to, but you can. Some information about Undertaker over here on the side. On the side you have Undertaker one more time, and now we're back to the front of the box so we can transition to the figure. Okay, so this is pretty much everything you get. Obviously, we'll talk about him in just a minute. Let's go over some of these accessories, at least the ones that are not currently on the figure. You do have two of these style hands. These are the, when he does his entrance, he does the type hands to summon something. I don't know. Two of those nice hands there. You also have a total of three, but you have two extra head sculpts. This one a little less interesting just because of how goofy it fucking looks. Can you see that? Look at that face. What I do like is they kind of actually painted the red on top of his head, which I did not know when I bought the figure. Obviously, you can't see that much of the figure, but yeah, he at this time had his orange hair kind of coming through. I wonder if he like planned on like making a transition from black into orange, just because he's like, oh, I'm tired of dyeing my hair, and then changed his mind, because he was letting a lot of the orange come through, and they actually painted that on all of these figures. But yes, this is a version with the mask. Of course, a lot of it's hidden by the hair. Yeah, it looks a little silly, obviously. You do have the chin strap here, which is skin-colored, and I don't love that. But he's making an odd face. Just there's no way around that fact. You also have this head sculpt here, which this one is a little unique in the fact that the mask comes off, so you actually have just the regular version of Undertaker from this era when he just looked like this. I do appreciate that. You can put the mask on, and now, I have this mask for other wrestlers if I wanted. If I could apply it onto other wrestlers, I don't think it would apply as well to anyone without hair like this. I mean, it's specifically sculpted in a way that it goes on like that. I wonder, I do have Jacob Fatu right here, just sitting on the sidelines. Would that work? It's not held in, but it fits if theoretically I wanted to do that. Then, as far as the figure itself goes, he looks fantastic when you put everything on him. You have this nice hat, which is maybe a smidge too small. You really have to kind of push it onto the figure to make sure it doesn't pop off. But it looks pretty good. I mean, it has the painted detail of the purple strap, but beyond that, it's just the same hat we've had with every Undertaker figure. I'm going to pop this head off so we can talk about the jacket next. I do love this jacket. It's probably my favorite iteration of the Undertaker entrance jackets, just because it feels really nice. Nice quality. I don't know, there was the Raw 3-pack that came with an Undertaker from this era. I don't remember if he came with a jacket or not. If he did, I remember it being of this quality, but maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know. You have the purple pockets right here, the nice sleeves, all of this fun stuff. Very cool stuff going on this figure. The feel of it's very nice. The texturing, very well made. It's thick, pretty thick, for what it is. And I really, really love the way this looks on the actual figure. You also have the tie, which is standard fare for the Undertaker of this era. I have about a dozen of those just because of how many of these Undertakers I've collected over the years. This is the other final head sculpt. It's more of a neutral head sculpt. We don't get a yelling head sculpt, which is interesting. I feel like every Ultimate we've gotten for the past 3 years has had at least one screaming head sculpt, despite how annoying that is to deal with. And this one we just didn't, which is I like that. I don't like the yelling net sculpts. I think they're a waste of plastic. But yes, this is the other head sculpt. I think it looks pretty good. The look of the Undertaker, of course, he's wearing all black, but it is the button-up version of black with the cut-off sleeves. Nice sleeves. They don't hinder the butterfly joints too much. I guess we'll talk about that in a minute. They are softer plastic. I do like the way those look a little bit more than the regular, like, elite version of this style figure. You do have the one elbow pad on this side, of course. The purple gloves and boots. I think that these look pretty good. They're about identical to what we've seen before, just with the addition of the toe-hinged boot mold. Pinned knees, which I just now noticed. That's pretty annoying. We could have gotten pinless. You didn't have to do us like that. But yeah, everything else about the figure looks pretty good. In terms of articulation, let's talk about it. Starting with the head, I mean, we know what we're gonna get. Basically nothing at all. Wiggles, kinda, not really. That's more like the body wiggling. It could rotate slightly, not very much. Of course, the hair gets in the way, but it's not like the end of the world with how limited it is. It's expected. Arms come up to about right there. Butterfly joint like that going back, that going forwards. Not too shabby. I forgot to mention the tattoos. Sorry, I'm having hiccups right now. Rotates all the way around like so. Swivel at the bicep. Double jointed pinless elbows. Everything's feeling buttery smooth. Wrist goes out and in just a little tight. You have the diaphragm cut so you can wiggle and wobble like so. Going back to about right there, forward to about right there. Swivelage on the top half, swivelage on the bottom half. If you add the legs into it, he can bend to about 90 degrees. Of course, he has the drop-down style hips, so I don't know if you can see that really. It's hard to see with all the blackness, but the drop-down style hips, that's not me breaking the figure, that's intentional design. He can do the splits, of course, because, I mean, he has the drop-down style hips, so it helps him with that. These drop-down style hips are not that egregious. They're not, like, super annoying like they are on some of the other figures where they're maybe a little too much. These drop down and, like, just enough, and they kind of, like, you don't even really notice that they drop down. I think these are among the better drop-down style hips we've gotten. I think I could say drop-down style hips at least 5 more times before the end of this video. You do have a swivel at the thigh, rotates all the way around. Double jointed, not pinless knees on these legs. I'm debating whether or not I actually want to say drop-down style hips 5 more times, 4 more times. I think it'd be funny. I also think it'd be very obvious and very easy to say it. It is only 4 more times. If I wasn't such a lazy video maker, I'd actually edit like a countdown to how many times I have left. I don't know. Swivelage at the boot? No? That... Okay, there it goes. I was like, that does not feel like it wants to spin, but it did. Foot basically doesn't move at all. It kind of rocks in and out. Toe hinge, and it kind of turns. And that is the Ultimate Edition Phantom of the Opera era Undertaker action figure. Very nice action figure. Very happy with this action figure. I am super happy, especially since the last figure I unboxed was the Jacob Fatu, and I thought that figure was just fine. This one's definitely a lot nicer. I think this one, it's basically fantastic. I don't know what to tell you. It is a figure that I don't know. I love Undertaker, don't get me wrong, but like, we've had a lot of Undertakers. There's specific eras of Undertaker we have gotten less of. Like the Monday Night Wars. Well, okay, this is technically Monday Night Wars era. I'm talking, okay, Ruthless Aggression, where he wore like the denim. We did just get that in Elite form, but like, where's the Ultimate version? The American Badass version of Undertaker. I would like to see that in Ultimate form. It is something that we're starting to see maybe too much of, and I think maybe, I don't know, maybe the ship sailed on getting a Ultimate of those. I mean, it hasn't, because, like, they're obviously going to one day, but, like, I'm right now I'm complaining about we got too much of this guy, and I'm saying I want more of that version of Undertaker. I understand, because right now we're getting a lot of that era of Undertaker, but we weren't, to be clear. So, like, stop, don't yell at me, stop yelling, chillax, okay? Anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think we should get a American Badass Undertaker Ultimate Edition? I think so. Why not? Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the things YouTubers ask you to do, just do it for me as well. And I will be back with another video, hopefully very, very soon. Bye.